Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about the prophecy that foretells that 144,000 or the lions, you know what I mean? They're going to be coming to free Palestine from this oppressive regime. So the prophecy never really explained who are these tall, blonde, and no fear, with supernatural abilities and whatnot. But a lot of people do not know where they're going to be coming from and who they are and stuff. These lions, the lions of God, are the 144,000 being targeted currently, right? And because God is symbolic, the creator is symbolic. He doesn't, he says things in, riddles. You have to figure it out. Like he said it in a way, you have to figure out what he's talking about, because he's not, when he says something, it does not mean it's exactly that. It means it's symbolic. There's symbolism behind it, right? So there are tall, blonde, with great strength and no fear. There are exactly the 144,000. Blonde, because, okay, I am a black person, right? I'll also talk about black people too. Black labels, white labels. I'm going to tell you who also created that. Anyhow, blonde meaning the lion is blonde, right? That's what God is saying. They are blonde, tall, blonde, no fear. Okay, with great strength, very powerful beings. And if you have seen that movie, that video, okay. Remember the video I posted for you guys about Donald Trump talking about the primordial gods that are coming, the cabal doesn't know what to do with them. Remember that video? They end up deleting it and they went on and said that Donald Trump never said these words. They deleted that video. Okay? He said it, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they do. They have to tell you half truth. Anyhow, that are the 144,000. The one who carry universal blood type. The universe blood type. Universe or universal blood type. See, they didn't change that very much. It's the same. Universal or universe blood type. That means you can give to everybody, but you can only take from your own. You understand? So that's what's going on. Tall, blonde, no fear, with great strength. Blonde are lions. They are the lions of God. What lions is like the king of the king of the safari, right? So that's what it means. Blonde, it does not mean because you're different ethnic groups. When he's okay, there's another symbolism I'll tell you also. When he says these are virgins have not been defiled with any woman. What do you think the virgins means? No, it does not mean like we didn't have sex. It doesn't mean that. It means Virgos. Virgo. They are born Virgos. Zodiac Virgo. I'm a Virgo, right? I was born September 6th. I'm a Virgo. That's what it means. It's not been defiled by any woman. With any woman, because we are Virgos. That was symbolic. That's another symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism in the whole, in Holy Quran and Torah and Zabur and Bible. There's a lot of symbolism. You look how, what is this? You go online, look for symbolism. Why do you think they have priests or imams or people who learn about the book, what God means? Why do you think people study it in universities? You know what I'm saying? If it's that simple, right? If it's very simple to understand, why would you go to university, get a degree, in, in religion, let's say, right? And other symbolism. So the lions know we have great strengths because we are descendants of the house of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Mary, Isa. I don't want to say Jesus, but you get it. His name is Isa, not Jesus, But anyhow, or Yeshua, right? Anyhow, we come from that house, We come from the house of the prophets, The prophets are the servant of God. We're not primordial gods like Donald Trump says, Yeah, but God gives this 144,000, the house of Abraham, a lot of gifts because Abraham is the father of all the prophets, right? But anyhow, that, and then they know no fear. Okay, so that's the last thing I was supposed to explain to you. No fear. There is there is something in your heart. I don't know it in English, but in Arabic it's called madqa. Madqa meaning it's this part of your heart that hold negative emotions. Any negative emotion in your heart, all this negative emotion is it's basically stored in this part of your heart. It's called madqa in Arabic. I don't know in English. And this madqa that holds fears, love, all sorts of emotions, anger, rage, anything and everything. So hold all this, all this emotion in your heart. It locks it in. So every experience, why do you think we've been targeted this way? Why do you think we've been targeted this way? Tormented, attacked, humiliated, abused, sexually abused, violated in many ways. And one, a list is very long. The things they did to us, is very long, and lied about, mocked, all of that happened to us because that all is stored in your heart. You understand? So they're literally attacking your heart, but with emotions. You understand? So you have to understand. You understand what they're doing. They know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because their forefather, Satan or Baal, okay. Go back to creation, so you understand how they know us so well. God created before all creation. What God created first? Before all creation, before humans, before angels, before all of that, God created the spirit first, because God is spirit. So the spirit created all the other spirits, all spirits. Spirit of the sun, the spirit of the moon, the spirit of all the spirits, even Jupiter, the wicked one. Also, he has a spirit. All the spirit, God created it. Then what come after the spirit? The jinn. Who the jinn? The jinn were living on earth, here, on earth. There are the kingdom of jinn. They told you what Azizel is. Azizel is a jinn, kingdom of jinn. He was the high-ranking officer of the jinn kingdom. So. And then God created third, humans. Understand? So you have to understand the hierarchy, how God created things. So the jinn knows who we are because they were created before us. But the 144,000 created before the jinn. I'm going to tell you why. When Jesus says before Abraham, there was I am, because I am created, the angels were created. Sorry, I go back. The spirit first, the angel second, the jinn third, and then the humans fourth. Okay? And so they know what we are because they were created before humanity. The jinn. And so when we come to earth, Satan knows who we are because he was created before us. He lived a life before his kingdom was destroyed. Before he was being destroyed, he lived. You know what I'm saying? Lived in earth, creating all sort of mess. You know. Anyhow, and then you can link it to the being when he fell. When God threw him in here for defiling creation, messing with creation, messing with Adam and Eve. And so he's always been a jealous. When he says, I'm a jealous God, there is no other God but me, that's Azizel talking. That's him. That, Yal Dabath, whatever, you call him whatever, all of that. Archons, yeah, it's the same person, But anyhow, he jealous of what? He's jealous. Okay, he's jealous of other gods. He's also jealous of humanity because he knows God created humanity better. They have an opportunity to be better, to exceptional, But he messed with the evolution of humanity. How humanity evolved. He came in here and create all sort of mess, But anyhow, to go back to what I'm saying is, this madra, to go back to, so I'm jumping the story. See, I do that all the time. I'm talking about something, but I just remember something else and I want to talk about that too. So I need to, maybe I need to write a note, what I need to talk about before I say it. But I've never been good at that. But anyhow, madra in your heart, that is it the fifth thing that I told you that is gonna, no, they know no fear. Because this madra in your heart, is going to be removed. It was removed from the Prophet Muhammad. I think a number of prophets. It was removed from the heart. So, all negativity does not get captured in the heart. You understand? Once it's removed, it's blocked. If you cursing me, you cursing, whatever, it does not hold. It deflects. It doesn't really come back. It goes back to the sender, And then that when you don't have that, then you have no fear. You have no fear. You understand? Because nothing else affects you. Nothing outside of yourself affects you. You cannot be affected by all these emotions. You understand? So you're gonna have a new heart. I'm not saying this. I am saying you're gonna have a new heart. It's in prophecy. It's in a prophecy. God said it. You're gonna have a new heart. These 144,000, we're gonna have a new heart. It's like made from titanium, very indestructible. It cannot be destroyed. Yeah, that day is coming, guys. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about who you really are. These people are doing all these things to you to affect you some sort of way, but you're gonna excel. You're gonna be above all, because God said so. Do not budge, guys. Do not conform. Be who you are, and do not join no one else, and do not accept their money, and do not accept their money, and do not forgive. Yeah, here you have it.